Armored Core lore. What if White Glint survived the attack on Lineark? It is an outcome I'm sure many have thought about and would have liked to see in a storyline like this within the Armored Core 4 Answer game. So today I'm going to try my best to explain what I think would happen, and unlike the last video, this time I am going to explore 3 timelines. 2 based on the facts and lore of this world, and 1 that just throws the lore aside for a bit of fun. With that said, let's begin first by stating how this battle can play out, just in case you don't know or need a refresher. The first scenario is with Strayed being on the League's side with Stasis as his wingman, while the second scenario is Strayed being on White Glint's side during this battle, facing off against Stasis and Cube. Scene set then, let's start with scenario 1 of this What If. As we know, this battle is before the rise of Orca, and the League sends Strayed and the number 1 ranking Lynx, Stasis, to take down the only Lynx of Lineark, White Glint. And I think for this What If, we need all the details, including the briefing given to Strayed which goes, "We want you to take out Lineark's strongest military asset, White Glint. White Glint is a rank 9 Nex, but it is considerably more powerful than its rank suggests. If it were otherwise, we wouldn't be asking for your assistance. White Glint is too powerful for a single Nex to take on, therefore we want you to work together with Stasis, a rank 1 Next. White Glint is the backbone of the Lineark forces. Once out the picture, their will be broken, and they will be unable to resist any further. This would immediately lift the threat to the cradles. We're readying as much firepower as possible for this operation. The rest will be up to you." Now, we know the whole battle is just a way to get Stasis out of the picture, because the League can't have their own funded terrorist group without a leader they can pull the strings of. But the only way to do this is to make it look like the number 1 Lynx is killed by a foe that most would believe could kill him. It's a clever show to fool the world. Still, the fight begins with Strayed and Stasis fighting White Glint over Lineark. The 3 Nex blast away at each other till Stasis sinks into the water, as apparently White Glint hit his main booster, leaving him unable to get out of the water as his cockpit fills up with it. However, unlike in the game, this time Strayed cannot keep up with the experienced fighting style of Anatolia's mercenary. I will add, I'm not saying this will be a cakewalk for the Lineark savior either. In fact, this could be as close as we get to what a fight between Joshua O'Brien and Anatolia's mercenary may have looked like. The 2 battle on with shots from these war machines, punching holes in Lineark's base and each other as they do. White Glint then using assault armor as they close in on each other, takes out the primal armor of both himself and Strayed, before using the speed of his craft to make some distance between them. Knowing that with their primal armors down, both Nex are as weak as they can get, it's a race against time now as Strayed and White Glint act. White Glint goes on the full offensive, his rifles firing off as the White Angel of Death tries to end this quickly. While Strayed either tries to be defensive to allow their armor to return, or goes on full offensive too. No matter the Lynx's choice, however, Strayed is killed by White Glint and sinks to the bottom of the ocean, where the world presumes Stasis is too. So what happens now? 2 of the League's Lynx are dead and White Glint is still standing. What I think is White Glint is not going to be able to set out straight away. The battle with these 2 Lynx has left Glint in a damaged state, needing repair. So Fiona calls him back, as it looks like the League has not sent a backup unit in case things went sour. So back in for repairs, Lineark continues to monitor the situation, as they don't know if the League has something up its sleeve. Yet, to their surprise, what happens next is nothing. The League forces are nowhere to be seen, and it seems all has gone quiet. Skirmishes are reported about, but so far Lineark is still standing. So a week, maybe two, passes since the last battle, and then one early morning, before March, as the sun rises over the marine city, 4 necks are spotted. Yi, Wiz, Francois, and Cube. But these 4 do not come alone, as along with them are teams of muscle tracers and even a gigabase. The League this time has come out in full force, and White Glint, with any defenders within Lineark, are now going to have to face them. Now I know while this may sound a little far-fetched, let me tell you how I came to this outcome. As at first I went, they would send out their next top-ranking links, Windy Fanchin, Rhodey, etc. But then I thought, no, they would not. And the reason for this was GA was still not on the League's side, and along with this, the League was still having lots of infighting. They at this point could not afford to throw away powerful links, because the closed plan was not in full motion yet. It had started turning its wheels, but to get GA in line, Orca first had to attack. GA had no reason to send in Rhodey, as this would put them back to where they were in Armored Core 4, with little to no nexts. And their last mercenary that saved them is now one of their biggest threats, apart from the League. The infighting was also so rife within the League that no corporation is going to throw away their military powerhouses, even if they plan to get rid of them later on, because it made them look weak. And while getting rid of Windy here may have stopped the League ending altogether, that's a what-if path to walk down another time. To keep on point why I came to this 4 ragtag team is 3 out of 4 of these are independent mercenaries. They do not mean anything to the League, and their loss is only a good thing for the League's plan, because less necks, easier time for them in the long run. As for Cube, he is the same. He's a test subject, and maybe the only one who can take out White Glint, with him being as skilled as he is, or programmed to be. Plus, with all this firepower, one way or another, White Glint will fall. Maybe not here, but the League can keep sending in wave and wave of necks and MTs. To cover all my bases as well, White Glint may also have to end up working for Orca, not because he wants to, but because of the need of money. Like when he faced Motherwill, Lineark still uses White Glint to make money through mercenary work. So if the League decided not to hire him, then Orca certainly can look like a good way to make the cash. I don't think the morals of Anatolia's mercenary would stop him nor Lineark when cash is running low and people are starving. But it certainly would make quite the story of Lineark's savior being turned on by the place and people they wanted to protect. In the end, White Glint winning at the Battle of Lineark when straight at his foe only puts the closed plan on hold until he is taken down, and could result in a much more deadly outcome for Lineark itself and Anatolia's mercenary. As with Strayed still alive, there is a chance he never attacks Megalus, and they all get to live a bit longer. Strayed being killed could result in a large war which kills more civilians as the League throws everything they have, not only to take down White Glint, but Lineark as a whole. Now, the second scenario. This time, Strayed joins in protecting Lineark with White Glint, and once again, Stasis falls into the ocean. But this time, Cube is taken out by Strayed before it can focus down on White Glint. Here is my sticking point though. If Strayed does this and then returns to Collard, there is a very good chance Strayed is killed outside of their next, or suddenly finds work is not coming in. In fact, the League could blacklist the Lynx, who is now forced to join Lineark out of sheer desperation, or ends up solely working for GA, as they are one of the corporations who is not keen on the League. So it's death, being a GA lackey, oh how history repeats itself, or taking up arms with Lineark to survive. I'm going to say straight goes to Linearch, be it through force or choice. It's this or working only for GA, which again is a path I feel would lead right back to the original 3-4 answer endings. Another question I thought about while writing this scenario is, do I believe Katsumi would go along with Strayed? Yes, I do. I believe she would, be it Strayed joining Linearch of their own free will or forced to. Because 1, she takes her fair share of the pay, and 2, it seems throughout the game that she wants to see how far her student can go. This being the case, it would mean she'd have to flee to Linearch too, leaving Strayed and Katsumi now in the same boat as Anatolia's mercenary and Fiona. I say this as I can't say in all good faith that Katsumi would be able to take her next along with her. It would be quite the boon to Linearch forces to have 3 necks on their side, but I just can't see her sneaking out a machine that was most likely only given back to her when Stray joined Old King. This leaves 2 operators and 2 links with their nexts. The issue is Linearch is already lacking resources to keep White Glint in shape, and on top of this, they are still very outgunned by the League. Linearch has no desire to form any alliance with corporations, and if mercenary work is still something they need, and the League blacklists them, well, Orca might come knocking, but this is just again the League in disguise, still trying to wipe them both out by sending them on suicidal missions. Taking the fight to the League in a big battle is not going to happen. So how about guerrilla warfare? Hit-and-run attacks on key areas weakening the League's power. A nice idea, but the issue is the same as before, when only White Glint protected Linearch. Linearch's military would not be able to stand up to a League army. There is no better example than the first mission in Foranza, where Strayed mows down MTs and normals from Linearch like nothing. It would boil down to one protecting Linearch while the other went to fight. And really, we just end up back at scenario 1, where the League sends an army to Linearch with 4 nexts, MTs, and an arms fort. Only this time, whoever is out attacking also comes under attack from another League force. I can't honestly find a happy ending for White Glint in either of these scenarios. The League simply has far too much firepower for 2 links to stand up to, and it only requires Linearch to be taken down, and both are left high and dry. These 2 scenarios I have explained to you are based on the lore of what we know about the world of Armored Core Foranza, and personal thoughts mixed in with some realism. Now I'm going to tell you about my 3rd scenario. This one is just for fun, as it breaks all the rules of the lore and how characters act. Scenario 3 of this what if involves Strayed joining up with Linearch, and Katsumi also joins them, but brings along her next. How do they do this? I'm pulling this one out of my hat. Strayed and White Glint perform a night raid on where Interior Union keeps her next in storage, with Katsumi stealing it as they do, or during a maintenance period. Either way, 3 nexts are under Linearch's control, and suddenly there is a change of leadership at Linearch. The more powerful criminal-minded people of influence take over. They all go, you know what, we want this world, and to do that, we need allies. We need to get GA and Taurus, or just one, on our side, and we're going to have to start taxing everyone to high hell to hire next to fight for us and dip into our criminal funds. The League here also does not send an army to attack Linearch during this time, as the infighting has taken their attention. So that all happens. The 2 links and their operators are also on board with the idea, and within weeks, GA is on board too, but Taurus says, nah, if you're working with GA, we want nothing to do with you. So an alliance is formed between GA and Linearch, and the League answers back by sending next to attack each one. Orca is not around yet, but it's brewing, as the infighting between corporations has only got worse due to GA and Linearch beating the next sent out to take care of them, making the League look weak. At this stage, it would be unwise to have Orca attack as the League is fighting. However, Omer's science is too eager or in a state of panic and sets the close plan in motion. Orca attacks the Arteria facilities, drawing the attention of the other corporations. GA is still hit hard, however with the help of 2 of the 3 line arc links, it's able to retake a lot more back than before, meaning they do not feel the need to work with the League. In fact, it's very possible a few Orcan members are killed by the new alliance. This new attack force has also made GA and Lionarch dive deep into their pockets and call in the services of a lot more independent links to their side, including Roy, Camisori, Francois, Wiz, Yi, and Dan Morrow. With all this firepower and the League focusing on Orca, as they have to be seen fighting the terrorists who are going to bring down their homes, it gets very messy, as without Strayed, the League now has to send its own links out to do their missions. Julius Emery and Toshin now have to fight Noblesse and Dario at an Arteria facility. Rizaya with her mentor, or with the help of Stiletto, has to battle Neo to try and destroy the anti-satellite cannons. Now, depending on Strayed choices, PQ and Bubba may also still be around, with patches to deal with. But I'm going to say for this scenario, they are dead. Another League next is going to have to defend Cradle 3, as Old King goes off to take it down. In these battles, the League loses a few of their necks, as does Orca. It can't be helped. While all this is going on, the new alliance of GA and Lionarch protect their assets. They don't go and reclaim Big Box, and instead hunker down, driving back any League or Orca forces that dare come near. In the end, Windy and any remaining next of the League is then sent to Big Box to deal with the main Orca force. It's very possible the answer is unleashed on GA by Orca during this time, however Strayed or White Glint is able to take it down. In the end, the League stops their attacks on Orca as they planned, and tell all their necks to stand down. It's here, however, the alliance of GA and Lionarch announce they plan on stopping Orca, as it's clear the League has no desire to stop the terrorists threatening their home. This call to arms has Windy become independent and shift over to Lionarch's side, seeing them as the only way to stop Orca. Now at this point, Lionarch and GA have around 8 or 9 links on their side, taking a few deaths from attacks. Strayed and Windy are sent out to deal with the remaining Orca necks, who have taken over the Arteria Cranium, the main controller of all Arterias. Here they battle Neonidus and Shinkai, the 2 remaining members of Orca. The fight is rough, but Windy and Strayed win before being attacked by Ostava. The reasons for this are 1. The League needs to be seen as heroes now, as it seems the Cove's plan has fallen apart, or 2. They want the plan to go ahead, but to do so, Windy and Strayed need to be killed. No matter the reason, however, another battle begins and Windy goes down here, being already beat up from their last encounter, and Strayed ends up killing Ostava. GA and Lionarch publicly announced they defeated Orca, putting the public on their side and driving the League to now focus their attacks on the 2. However, the whole ordeal has left the League next numbers very low, around 10. While GA and Lionarch could be in the same boat, they are better off after not having so many battles. So then there is a major push by them both to start taking over League areas. The real issue, however, is the people of the League corporations are rebelling. Seeing how their corporation overlords were going to let a terrorist group win, there is riots, members of their armed forces and public services rebelling or fleeing, production starts slowing down, fighting forces are being divided between battling foes and controlling the public. In the end, the League breaks down, with corporations breaking away to return to be independent, as this war will be the final one that leads to what we see in Armored Core 5. With this final scenario explained, I hope you found these scenarios entertaining, if nothing else. Do feel free to leave your thoughts about these scenarios, what you would change, and any other feedback you have.